Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams to all the devotees. Thank you all very much for joining in for our teachings of Lord Chaitanya study session. We'll start with the prayers. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padhaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauradushi Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupaswarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Ajanulambita bhujau kanakavadhatau sankirtanaicapitarau Malayatakshaw Vishwambarau Dvijavarau Yugadharmapalau Vande Jagat Priyakarau Karunavatarau Vande Gurunisham Bhaktanisham Ishavatarakan Tat Prakasham Satat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Samyakam Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanando Sodhito Gaudode Pushpavantau Chitrau Shando Tamundo Yadadvaitam Brahmopaniषदि तदप्यस्य तनूभायात्मान्तर्यामि पुरुष इति सुशांश विभवः षडैश्वर्यै पूर्णो स भगवान् स स्वयम् अयं न चैतन्यात् कृष्णात् जगति परतत्त्वं परमिह अनर्पितचरीं चिरात् करुणयावतीर्णः कलौ समर्पयितुमुन्नतो जुलरसां स्वभक्ति श्रियम् हरिः पुरटसुन्दरदुधि सन्दीपितः सदा हृदय कन्दरे सुरतो वः शचिनन्दनः राधा कृष्ण प्रणेव कृतिर्लादिनी शक्तिरस्मात् एकात्मानावभिभुवि पुरदेहभेदं गतौ तौ चैतन्याख्यं प्रकटमधुना तद्वयं चैक्यमाप्तं राधा भावदुति सुवलितं नौमि कृष्णस्वरूपम् मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यमीश्वरं हरि ओं तत्सत् गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तडालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining in for our TLC study. We are on chapter number 18. Yesterday we discussed the very most interesting, very heart-touching glories of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as described by our Srila Prabhupada. Only when we know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most magnificent incarnation of the Lord and we follow in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who came to teach us how devotional service is performed, only then we can actually perform devotional service. Otherwise, it's not possible for us to understand what should be our method of serving the Supreme Lord. How can we please the Lord? Right? We can understand how we can please the Lord only when we understand how to please the devotees, how to please our Guru, right? When we please our Gurus, when we please the Vaishnavas, then automatically Lord Sri Krishna is pleased. So with that background, let's quickly go on to the next chapter. Very wonderful. Chapter 18. So we saw how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually took sannyas so that people of the people of this universe, people of this world actually give importance and give heed to what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying. Because earlier, when he took initiation from Ishwara Puri, that time when he was preaching, nobody was taking him seriously. So that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided, I will take sannyas, so that the people of this world will take my words seriously, will offer obeisances to me, right? Because in India, there is always a culture that when a sannyasi comes, people generally offer obeisances. That culture is there still in India, right? So as to attract all the people of this world to listen to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to listen to his instructions, to surrender to Lord Sri Krishna, the Lord who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas, took renounced order, so that he could preach the message of Krishna consciousness effectively to the people of that age. All right. So let's quickly see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not only made neutral people, like we as Madhyam Adhikaris, we do four things. What do we do? One is we are compassionate towards neophytes, or we are compassionate towards people who have no knowledge, right? And then we avoid those who are envious. Why? Because envious people, those who are envious of the Lord, they tend to blaspheme the Lord and blaspheme the devotees, right? So we don't want to be part of that blasphemy of the Lord and his devotees. So a devotee tries to avoid the envious. He of course knows the glory of the Lord, he offers obeisance to the Lord, he worships the Lord, and he befriends the devotees, right? And he's compassionate to people who are innocent, right? Who don't know the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. But here we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, since he is the Lord himself, he is able to convert even the Mayavadi sannyasis to the principle of devotional service. But generally, as a sadhaka bhaktas, when we are preaching, we should ensure that we don't land ourselves in a situation where we lose our faith, or we tend to argue, or we tend to we have to hear blasphemy of the Lord or his devotees. Such kind of situations we need to avoid. But here we see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being the Supreme Lord himself, how he is able to easily, very beautifully, is converting the head of the Mayavadi sannyasis. Because of that, all of the sannyasis who are following Prakashananda Saraswati also became pure devotees of the Lord. So let's read this very wonderful conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Prakashananda Saraswati. Okay, Karpagavali Mataji, go ahead and read.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, actually, before we start, I just want to make an announcement. I actually posted in the Medhamni group also.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me just mute everyone. I'm getting some sounds. Okay. So those of you who want to do Bhakti Shastri, right? There's a complete online program wherein within a year you'll be able to complete the Bhakti Shastri. Anyone who's interested can write the details to me. Right? The basic criteria is already there. I've put it in the Medhavini group. Basically, the eligibility is there. You need to log into Evolve Pune platform. Whoever is interested to do Bhakti Shastri may write to me. Right? You can mention my name there and my email address, which I've shared. And in that way, it will come to me for approval. But I need to just verify your details, because most of you all are already reporting in the daily reporting, sadhana reporting group, right? So basis that, I'm already giving a recommendation for Karpagavali Mataji, Madhvi Mataji. So anyone else who wants to do Bhakti Shastri, and this is a complete online course, hearing only recorded lectures, and you will get a certification from Bhakti Vedanta Raja Vidyalaya. Right? If anyone is interested, you may drop a line to me. I think the last day for registration is by end of this week, right? So do let me know in case you're interested. Okay, let's move forward. Let's start studying. Karpagavali Mataji, go ahead. Conversations with Prakashananda. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Mataji, thank you, Mataji. According to the principles of the Mayavadi sannyasis, singing, dancing, and playing musical instruments are strictly prohibited, for they are considered to be sinful activities. Mayavadi sannyasi is simply supposed to engage in the study of the Vedanta. Therefore, when the Mayavadi sannyasis in Benares saw that Lord Chaitanya was indulging in singing, dancing, playing musical instruments, and always chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, they concluded that he was not educated, and that out of sentiment He was misleading his followers. Shankaracharya's injunction, and that was that a sannyasi should always study the Vedanta, and that he should be satisfied by simply having one cloth and nothing more. Because Lord Chaitanya neither studied the Vedanta formally nor ceased from singing and dancing, he was criticized by all sannyasis at Benares as well as by their householders followers. When Lord Chaitanya received news of this criticism from his students and disciples, he simply smiled and started for Mathura and Vrindavana. When he returned to Benares on his way from Mathura and to Jagannath Puri, he stayed at the house of Chandrasekhara, who was considered a Sudra because he was a clerk. In spite of this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made his residence at his home. When Lord Chaitanya made no distinction between Brahmanas and Sudras, he accepted anyone who was devoted. Customarily, a sannyasi is supposed to take shelter and eat in a home of a Brahmana, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the independent Supreme Personality of Godhead, used his own discretion and decided to stay at Chandrasekhara's house. In those days, by misusing their Brahminical heritage, the Brahmanas had created a law to the effect that anyone not born in a Brahmana family was to be considered a Sudra. Thus, even the Kshatriyas and Vaidyas were also considered Sudras. Because the Vaidyas are said to be the descendants of the Brahmana fathers and Sudra mothers, they were sometimes called Sudras. Thus, Chandrasekhara, although born in a Vaidya family, was called a Sudra in Benares. As long as Lord Chaitanya stayed in Benares, he remained at Chandrasekhara's home and he took his food and at the home of Tapana Misra. Shall I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
When Sanatana Goswami met Lord Chaitanya at Benares, he learned the process and principles of devotional service during 2 months of continual teaching. Lord Chaitanya's instructions to Sanatana Goswami have been described in the first part of this book. After receiving these teachings, Sanatana Goswami was authorized to propagate the principles of the devotional service and Srimad Bhagavatam. It was during this time that both Tapana Misra and Chandrasekhara were feeling very sorry about the strong criticism against Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they came together. And they came together and prayed for the Lord to meet the Mayavadi sannyasis. We have been
Hare
mortified.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandat.
So it is said Kali Shudra Sambhava. That means in Kali Yuga, everybody is a Shudra. Right? Chaturvaranya Maya Shrishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. And in Kali Yuga, what are our qualities? Guna and Karma. Right? Lord Krishna told that I have created this 4 Chaturvaranyam. I have created this 4 spiritual orders and this 4 social orders, and those are not to be considered basis the birth. Right? Like we had Ashwatthama was born as the son of Dronacharya Brahmana, but did not have the qualities of a Brahmana. Right? So, in this way, a person who's born in a Brahminical family but does not have the Brahmana qualities, right? He is not considered to be a Brahmana. As per Krishna's depiction of the 4 social and orders and the 4 spiritual orders. Right? He said, Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam. I have created the 4 social orders. Chaturvarnyam Maya Shrishtam, and how it's to be determined? Guna, Karma, Vibhagasha. It is according to one's qualities and according to the activities or the work one performs, and is not to be considered according to the birth. But then in Kali Yuga, it is said to be everybody is a Shudra. Why is that? Because what is the qualities of Kali? Right? Manda Sumanda Matayo, Prayen Alpa Yushas Sabya, Kalavasmin Yugejanaha, Manda Sumanda Matayo, Manda Bhagya Pudrataha. In Kali Yuga, people are supposed to be Manda, misguided, quarrelsome, not having proper clarity and understanding what to do, what not to do, etc. Because of these qualities that are predominant in the people of this age of Kali, Kali Yuga is generally supposed to have only Shudras, right? Even if there are some people born in a Brahminical family, they're also considered Shudras because of their activities and because of their desires, Guna and Karma, because of their qualities, because of their desires, and because of their activities, right? Kalau Shudra Sambhava. So, but great personalities, right? Especially the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they're able to decipher, basis the quality of a person, basis the actions of a particular person, they're able to decipher what is the Varana of this particular person, right? Is he a Shudra or is he a Kshatriya or is he an administrator? Accordingly, the spiritual master will engage the disciple in according to a particular seva, according to the quality of the disciple. That is what used to happen in the times of Gurukul, right? The spiritual master will have personal contact with the disciple according to the interest of the disciple, according to the qualities of the disciple. Particular seva will be assigned to the disciple so that the disciple can actually dovetail all of his propensities, right, in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this way, Chandrasekhara Acharya, and he was actually born in a Vaidya family. Vaidya family means generally they all practice medicine, right? And it is said that the husband, the father is a Brahmana and the mother is a Shudra, right? We also saw that, what is that, in Veda Vyas, right? Vidura was born in a, father was Veda Vyasji himself, right? And mother was a Shudrani, right? Because Ambika and Ambalika, they actually sent one maid servant to Veda Vyasa's chambers. When Satyavati asked Vyasadeva to actually create a progeny so that that person can rule over Hastinapur. So those kind of people are generally termed as Shudras, but our Vidura, who was born in that combination of a Brahmana and a Shudrani, he is supposed to be very, very greatly intelligent. He is supposed to be the incarnation of Yamaraj. So there are exceptions to every rule, right? It's not that everybody who is born of a Brahmana father and a Shudrani mother has to be a Shudra. No, according to the qualities and according to the work that they do, they can be as exalted as a devotee like Vidura, right? So like that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu identified that although Chandrasekhara Acharya, he is born in a Vaidya family and he's called a Shudra, he actually stayed in Chandrasekhara Acharya's home because he was a pure devotee of the Lord, right? And he also accepted prasadam in the home of Tapana Mishra. And we all know that Sanatana Goswami, we actually completed that section, the first couple of chapters, where it actually spoke about the instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami, right, which was described, wherein Sanatana Goswami was asked to write about the principles of bhakti as enunciated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because the Lord gives a crystal clear core instructions, right? But it's the duty of the devotee to expand those instructions so that common people can understand, right? That is why Rupa Goswami wrote the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and then Upadeshamrita, which got the details of all the instructions given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sanatana Goswami wrote the Hari Bhakti Vilas, right? Those all contain important details as to how the Lord is to be worshipped, what are the Pancharatrika Vidhis to follow while worshipping the Lord, while performing devotional service, etc. So in this way, Tapana Mishra and Chandrasekhara Acharya, they were very, very close associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just like Sanatana Goswami was, right? But at that time in Benares, there were a lot of Mayavadi sannyasis, especially this Prakashananda Saraswati was a great Mayavadi sannyasi, and he had a group of sannyasis who were his followers, right? So actually, Tapana Mishra and Chandrasekhara Acharya, they knew that this Mayavadi sannyasis were criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always singing and dancing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He was always propagating the Harinama Sankirtan. But Shankaracharya had actually so told that sannyasis means you should engage in the study of the Vedanta. Vedanta means the conclusion of the Vedas, right? But then why is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why is this sannyasi always singing and dancing? Like that, they were criticizing. So they were looking for an opportunity how those Mayavadi sannyasis could be brought in the association of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because of which all those Mayavadi sannyasis, one will stop criticizing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and also take up the path of bhakti. How did it happen? That's what is this particular chapter. Let's go ahead. Hema Mataji, go ahead. We have been mortified from there. Hema Mataji, you're able to unmute yourself?
Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, yes, go ahead.
We have been mortified by hearing unfavorable criticisms from Mayavadi sannyasis against you. They informed Lord Chaitanya, indeed, it has become intolerable for us. They requested the Lord to do something so that these criticisms should be stopped. While they were discussing this subject, a Brahmana came to Lord Chaitanya and invited him to his home. All the sannyasis but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had been invited, and now the Brahmanas came to invite him. Knowing that the Lord did not mix with Mayavati sannyasis, the Brahmana fell down at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet and implored him. Although I know that you do not accept invitations, I still implore you to come and take prasadam at my home with the other sannyasis. If you accept this invitation, I will consider it a special favor. The Lord took this opportunity and accepted the Brahmana's invitation in order to meet the Mayavati sannyasis. Actually, this was an arrangement made by the Lord himself. Although the Brahmana who invited him knew that the Lord did not accept any invitations, he was still very eager to invite him. The next day, Lord Chaitanya went to the house of a Brahmana and saw that all the Mayavati sannyasis were sitting there. He offered his respects to all the sannyasis as is customary, and then went to wash his feet. After washing, he sat down at the spot a little distance from the other sannyasis. While he was sitting there, the sannyasi saw a glaring effluence emanating from his body. Attracted by his Attracted by this glaring effluence, all the Mayavati sannyasis stood up and showed him their respect. Among them was a sannyasi named Prakashananda Sarswati, the chief among the impersonalist sannyasis, and he addressed Lord Chaitanya with great humility, asking him to come and sit among them. My dear sir, why are you sitting in that filthy place? He asked. Please come and sit with us. Oh, I have belonged to an inferior sect of sannyasis, Lord Chaitanya replied. Therefore, I think that I should not sit with you. Let me remain down here. Prakashananda was surprised to hear such a thing from such a learned man, and he took the Lord's hand and requested him to please come and sit with him and the other sannyasis. When Lord Chaitanya was finally seated among them, Prakashananda Saraswati said, I think your name is Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And because you have taken sannyasi from Keshava Bharati, who belongs to the Sankaracharya Sampradaya, I understand that you belong to a Mayavati sect. According to the Shankara sect, there are 10 different names for sannyasis. Out of them, 3 names, Tirtha, Ashrama, and Saraswati, are given to the sannyasis considered to be the most intelligent and cultured. Since Lord Chaitanya was a Vaishnava, he was naturally humble and meek, and he wanted to give the better sitting place to Prakashananda, who belonged to the Saraswati Sampradaya. According to Shankara's principles of Brahmachari, of Mataji, there's that highlighter coming between.
Yeah, now it's okay.
Brahmachari at the Bharati school is called Chaitanya. However, although Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyasa, he kept his Brahmachari name and did not take up the title of Bharati. Well, Sir Prakashananda Saraswati continued, you belong to our Sankara sect and you are living in Banaras, so why don't you mix with us? What is the reason? Another thing, you are a sannyasi and are supposed to engage simply in the study of the Vedanta. But we see that instead you are always engaged in chanting and dancing and playing musical instruments. What is the reason? There are activities of emotional and sentimental people, but you are qualified sannyasi. Why not engage in the study of Vedanta? But your it appears to us that you are just like the Supreme Narayana, the personality of Godhead, but by your behavior, you appear to be otherwise. So we are inquisitive to know why you act in this way. My dear sir, Lord Chaitanya replied, my spiritual master considered me a great fool. Therefore, he has more or less punished me by saying that because I am such a fool, I have no capacity to study the Vedanta. So be kindly gave me the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. My spiritual master told me, just go on chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, it will make you all perfect. Actually, Lord Chaitanya was neither foolish nor ignorant of the principles of the Vedanta. His purpose was to demonstrate to modern society that fools who have no history of penance and austerity should not try to study the Vedanta just for some re- re-
Recreational purpose.
recreational purpose. In this Sikastaka, Lord Chaitanya said that one should be in a humble state of mind, should think himself lower than the grass on the street, should be more tolerant than a tree, and should be devoid of all sense of prestige and ready to offer all kinds of respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the Vedanta philosophy or the holy name of God constantly. The Lord also wanted to teach that a serious student of transcendental science should exactly follow the words of the spiritual master. According to the calculation of his spiritual master, Lord Chaitanya appeared to be a fool. Therefore, he said that he should not indulge in the study of the Vedanta but should continue chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Lord Chaitanya strictly obeyed this order. In other words, Lord Chaitanya impressed on the Mayavadis that the words of a bona fide spiritual master must be strictly followed. One who does so becomes perfect in all respects. The
Hare
word,
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
thank you, Mataji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. So, very, very beautifully, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is bringing a couple of points here. One is he took his initiation. At that time, there were only Mayavadi sannyasis who were giving initiation, right? And because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually wanted to get all the people to listen to him, to understand the principles of Krishna consciousness, he took sannyas from Keshav Bharati. However, he did not accept the name of Keshav Bharati. He retained his original initiated name of Shri Krishna Chaitanya. So in that way, he was following the principles of Vaishnavism. He was not following the principles of Mayavadism, although he had to take sannyas under a Bharati Guru, under Keshav Bharati, right? And also, secondly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is demonstrating so much of humility, right? It is not that he went and told that you're all Mayavadis. He's the Supreme Lord, right? He can immediately go and chastise, right? You all don't know anything. What are you thinking? Mayavadis, you think you all can become God? Or you can merge with the Lord's effulgence like that. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not do any of that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went and he sat near the place where everyone was washing their feet, right? And they were all washing their feet and going inside, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't go inside only. He just sat there. And Prakashananda Saraswati, he was the leader of the Mayavadi sannyasis. When he came, they all could see the beautiful effulgence of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So a devotee is known by his consciousness, by his surrender, by his humility, and not necessarily by how much he knows, how much Siddhanta he knows, how much he is able to talk, right? Because Krishna consciousness, what is our consciousness? A person who is yesterday also discussing, right? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Cheva Swapakaicha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Who is a real devotee, a real person with transcendental knowledge, means that he should have humility. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne. The completeness of transcendental knowledge is only when a person develops humility, because that is what the transcendental knowledge is, that we are not anything, right? Whatever we are able to do, it is only with the mercy of the Supreme Personality of God. So what is there for us to have false ego? There is nothing like that, right? So when we develop this humility, which is actually honesty, right? When we understand our minuscule position in front of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, automatically we get humility, and that humility is honesty when we understand the transcendental knowledge. So when we are able to offer all respects to others, knowing very well that everyone is a part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then one is able to do Kirtaniya Sadahari. One is able to chant all names of the Lord constantly. The third instruction, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told, is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu answered him that my spiritual master considered me to be a fool. That is a very important instruction. One should always remain a fool in front of one's spiritual master. Why? Only then one will be able to learn from the spiritual master. If one goes in front of the spiritual master saying, I know everything, right? It is said that when the cup is full, how much more can you pour in the cup? Right? It'll all go down. But the heart that is eager to learn from the spiritual master has to always have an empty cup, Right? A person may be very knowledgeable. He must have learned the Shastras. But in front of the Guru, in front of the spiritual master, one has to be like an empty cup. Why? Because then only, the spiritual master can pour the transcendental knowledge into that cup of our heart. Right? If we are already keeping ourselves filled with false ego, we can never learn. But we have to empty our heart of all the false ego. And with a humble heart, we need to learn from the spiritual master. And then, very important final point is we need to obey very strictly the orders of the spiritual master. Right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my spiritual master called me a fool and asked me to do Harinam Sankirtan. So I'm simply doing Harinam Sankirtan. Right? It is not that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he knows Shastras, he knows Vedanta Sutra. Right? He knows what is the Vedanta. Vedischa sarve rahameva vedyo. Krishna tells in 15.15. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna. Right? Yet, what did he not do? He did not tell that I know all the Vedanta Sutras and did not tell everything. Right? He knew everything. But he wanted to establish the fact on the Mayavadi sannyasi. It is more important to follow the orders of the spiritual master. It is not necessary to show off our prowess. It is not necessary. We are not going to please anybody by that. But when we follow the instructions of our spiritual master, then what happens? We please our gurus. And that is the anta of Vedas. Right? What is the Vedescha sarve rahameva vedyo? Krishna is saying the essence of all study of Vedas is to understand me. And how do we understand Krishna? Swayameva Suratyadaha. The Lord has to reveal himself to us. When will the Lord reveal himself to us? When we please our spiritual masters, when we please the Vaishnavas. Then, Sevon Mukehi Jivadau, Swayameva Suratyadaha. That is how the Lord will reveal himself. So what is the best way to please the Lord? Is to follow the instructions of our gurus, to follow the instructions of the Vaishnavas, and in this way please them, and by which we can please the Lord, and then the Lord will reveal himself to us. And that is Veda Anta. That is the conclusion of all the Vedas. Okay, so let's move ahead and read. Okay, I'm not able to share screen now. 1 second. What is this? Ah. Yeah. Okay, Rajneesh Prabhu, go ahead. The word Vedanta means the last
Hare
word.
Krishna Mataji Dandavata.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
The word Vedanta means the last word of Vedic. The word Vedanta
Yeah.
means the last word of the Vedic knowledge, which is to understand Krishna. As Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita 15.15, Vedis Cha Sarvat
Sarvair Ameva Vedyo.
Ahame Eva Vedyo. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. When one actually comes to understand the Vedanta, he comes to know Krishna and his relationship with Krishna, and one who understands Krishna understands everything. Moreover, the knower of Krishna is always engaged in transcendental loving service, as the Lord states in Bhagavad Gita, Aham sarvasva prabhavo matta sarvam te parvate iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava. I am the source of everything, and everything emanates from me. One who perfectly knows his fully engages in my transcendental loving service. A living entity is eternally related with Krishna in relationship of servant and master. Once the service is wanting, or in other words, when one is not created in Krishna consciousness, it is to understand that his study of the Vedanta is insufficient. When one does not understand Krishna or does not engage in his transcendental loving service, it is to be understood that he is averse to studying the Vedanta and understanding the supreme personality of Godhead. The path of Vedanta study shown by Lord Chaitanya should be followed by all. A person who is puffed up by so-called education has no humility and therefore does not seek the protection of a bona fide spiritual master. He thinks that he does not require a spiritual master and that he can achieve the highest perfection by his own efforts. Such persons are not eligible for studying the Vedanta Sutra. Those who are under the spell of material energy don't follow the instructions of cyclic succession but try to manufacture something of their own. In this way, they step outside the bona fide spiritual master directly.
No. In this way, they step outside the sphere of Vedanta study.
Vedanta study, a bona fide spiritual master must always condemn such independent mental speculators. If the bona fide spiritual master directly points out the foolishness of a disciple, it should not be taken wrongly.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So this is the meaning of the term guru. Guru means not a person who cheers the disciple. Okay, do whatever you like, right? Because okay, you are giving me money, you are paying me, then I listen to you. No, that's not the way, right? Guru means heavy, right? A guru must chastise the disciple. A guru must tell the disciple what is correct, what is wrong, right? That is why in the earlier times, although the Brahmanas were under the care of the Kshatriyas, they were independent. It is not that the Brahmanas listened to the Kshatriyas. No, it was the other way around. That's why the kings were called Raja Rishis. Raja Rishis means what? They were also following a very high level of spiritual culture because they were always guided by the Brahmanas. And the Brahmanas were independent, right? Similarly, here also, it is mentioned here that a guru is not a person who just say, okay, do whatever you like. No. A guru is not a person who will tell us, whether you will get a job or, whether blessings to get a job or to get something material advancement. No, that's not the function of a guru. The function of a guru is to give transcendental knowledge. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. So what is our role, our duty towards the guru? Is to humbly inquire about spiritual subject matters and render service to the guru, right? And then tattva jnaninas tattva darshinaha. The spiritual master is already enlightened and he gives that enlightenment to us, to a person who's simply serving him. So guru means heavy. That means he will give some instructions which may not be palatable to the disciple, but it is in the interest of the disciple that one follows the instructions of the spiritual master, knowing very well that although I'm not able to perceive it as a very nice instruction, I don't want to do it, but I will do it because that is what is prescribed in the Vedas. That is what is prescribed, that I have to humbly carry out the instructions of my spiritual master. One does not have a choice whether I should follow or not follow the instructions, right? So we can do any amount of research before we accept a spiritual master. When we accept a spiritual master, then we have to follow the instructions of that spiritual master, come what may, right? Because we have accepted that path and we need to complete. We should never say a no to the instructions of a spiritual master, or for that matter, any instruction coming from the bona fide Guru Parampara, especially if it is a specific instruction. That is why spiritual masters don't give specific instructions. Because if one gets a specific instruction, does not follow that instruction, it will be detrimental for the advancement of that person's spiritual life. That is why generally also, my Guru Maharaj also, Guru Maharaj, even when we ask, Guru Maharaj, please give a specific service, Guru Maharaj always says, Krishna Mati Rastu. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So in this way, this is the general instruction that all of us follow, right? Even Prabhupada gave that instruction that we should always remember Krishna, and all of Sarve Vidhi Nidhiya, what is that? Sorry. Sarve Vidhi Nidhiyashur Etayor Eva Kinkaraha. All of the devotional services that we do are to always remember Krishna and to never forget Krishna. And that is what is instruction of every spiritual master. Because the Guru, Shastra and Sadhu are never deviating in their instructions. All of them are telling us how to become closer to Krishna, how to love Krishna, how to serve Krishna, how to please Krishna. So this is what it is. So Guru always speaks according to Shastras, which may sometimes be palatable, which may sometimes be not palatable to the disciple. And that is not the criteria for the words of the spiritual master. The spiritual master speaks what is there in the Shastras and what is beneficial for the spiritual advancement of the disciple. Okay, let's move ahead. Okay, who will read? Okay, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead. A person who's completely ignorant. And then Sudha Mataji, Vrishabhanu Kanya Mataji, Deval Mataji. All right. Yes, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, pranams Mataji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A person who is completely ignorant of the signs of God cannot be considered learned. More or less, everyone who is not in Krishna consciousness is subject to foolishness. Sometimes we display our foolishness by accepting someone who is barely educated as a spiritual master. It is our duty to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose lotus feet are worshipped by all the Vedas. One who does not understand him and is proud of a false understanding of the Vedanta is actually a fool. Mundane attempts or academic knowledge are simply another type of foolishness. As long as one cannot understand the cosmic manifestation as a representation of the three modes of material nature, he must be considered to be in the darkness of inability and caught in the duality of this material world. A person who is in perfect knowledge of the Vedanta becomes a servitor of the Supreme Lord, who is the maintainer and sustainer of the whole cosmic manifestation. As long as one is not transcendental to the service of the limited, he cannot have knowledge of the Vedanta. As long as one is within the limited jurisdiction of fruitive activities or is involved in mental speculation, he may perhaps be eligible to study or teach theoretical knowledge of the Vedanta Sutra, but he cannot understand the supreme, eternal, transcendental, completely liberated vibration of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One who has achieved perfection in chanting this transcendental vibration does not have to separately learn the philosophy of the Vedanta Sutra. According to the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the bona fide spiritual master, those who do not understand that this transcendental vibration is not different from the Supreme, yet who try to become Mayavadi philosophers, expert in the Vedanta Sutra, are all fools. Studying the Vedanta Sutra by one's own efforts, the ascending process of knowledge, is a sign of foolishness. On the other hand, he who has attained a taste for chanting this transcendental vibration has actually reached the conclusion of the Vedanta. In this connection, there are two verses in the Srimad Bhagavatam which are very instructive. The purport of the first is that if a person is chanting the transcendental vibration Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then even if he was born in the family of the lowest of the human beings, is to be understood that in his previous lives, he performed all types of renunciation, austerities, and sacrifice and studied all the Brahma Sutras. The purport of the second verse is that one who chants the two syllables Hari, Hari must be considered to have studied all the Vedas, the Rig Veda, Atharva Veda, Yajur Veda, and the Sama Veda.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
So this is the purport, right? What we saw, Vedesya Sarver, Ahameva Vedyo. If after the studying of all the scriptures, if we don't know who's the Lord, who am I, what is my duty towards the Lord, who should be the goal of all of my activities, right? Samsiddhir Hari Toshanam. We don't understand that all of our activities are meant to please the senses of Lord Hari. Then it is Shrama Evahi Kevalam. Ya Utpadayet Yadiratim, Shrama Evahi Kevalam. Na Utpadayet Yadiratim. If all of the study of the Vedanta Sutras and Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, if it is na Utpadayet, if it does not give rise to Yadiratim, if it does not give rise to love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, does not give rise to inclination for us in our heart to perform devotional service, then it becomes Shrama Evahi Kevalam. All of our endeavor becomes useless labor, because the essential principle of developing love for the Lord and utilizing all of our propensities, resources, and skills in the service of the Lord, if that is not attained, and if there is no taste in chanting Hare Krishna, or if you don't even perform the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra as part of the sadhaka process, then all of our other activities, endeavors that we so-called perform from day to day, from morning to night, they all become useless labor until we try to understand who's the Lord, who am I, and what is our relationship, and how do I revive that relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And all activities are to be performed for the pleasure of the Lord. Samsiddhir Hari Toshanam is not understood, then all of the efforts become Shrama Evahi Kevalam. All of our endeavors. Shrama means difficulties. With great difficulty we perform some activities, right? Those activities, the difficulty, everything becomes waste. No use, right? Generally, when we are working very hard, we want to get some good result out of it, right? Why we are chanting Hare Krishna? We want to attain Krishna Prema. Why do we study for a material exam? Because if we want to top the exam. Why do we want to join IIT and study engineering? Why? Because we will get a lot of money. We will get good placement. So everything that we do, we are looking for some result that will help us become in a better position, isn't it? So in this way, if it does not result in love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, all of our activities become kevalam. Shrama evahi kevalam. There is no use. They all become useless labor. All right. Sudha Mataji, go ahead. On the other hand,
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Dandavat.
On the other hand, there are many so-called devotees who think the Vedanta is not meant for devotees. Such people are ignorant of the fact that the Vedanta is the only platform of pure devotee. Great acharyas in all four Vaishnava Sampradayas have made commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, but the so-called devotees known as Prakrita Sahajiyas carefully avoid the study of the Vedanta Sutra. The Prakrita Sahajiyas mistakenly take the pure devotees and Vaishnava acharyas to be mental speculators or fruitive actors. Consequently, they themselves become Mayavadis and leave the service of the Supreme Lord. Understanding the Vedanta Sutra by academic knowledge never enables one to understand the value of the transcendental vibration. People who are entangled in academic knowledge are conditioned souls who are confused about the facts of I and mind, I and mind understanding. Consequently, they are unable to detach their minds from the external energy. When a person actually attains transcendental knowledge, he becomes free from this duality and engages in the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Lord. The Lord's service is the only means by which one can become detached from material activities. A person properly initiated by a bona fide spiritual master and engaged in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, gradually becomes free from the conception of I and mine and becomes attached to the Lord's transcendental loving service in one of the 5 transcendental relationships. Such transcendental service is not a subject matter for gross and subtle bodies. Only when one can understand that there is no difference between the Supreme and His name can one be situated in Krishna consciousness. At such a time, one no longer needs to make grammatical adjustments. Rather, one becomes more interested in petitioning the Lord. Hare Krishna, O my Lord, O energy of the Lord, please engage me in your service. Lord Chaitanya explained all this to Prakashananda Saraswati and told him that he had heard all this from his spiritual master. He further informed Prakashananda Saraswati that his spiritual master had taught him that Srimad Bhagavatam is the actual commentary on the Vedanta Sutra as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam by Vyasadeva, the author of the Vedanta Sutra. A student's perspective. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is said to be the original commentary on Vedanta, on Vedas, right? Veda Anta Sutra. Sutra means it's a composition which contains all the conclusions or the essential summary of the Vedas. Veda Anta, the conclusion of all the Vedas. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda, all of those. All the conclusions of the Vedas, Veda Anta, is compiled into a document which is called Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? Where Vyasadeva actually wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. It is said in the first canto that Veda Vyasa had already written Mahabharata. He had already written Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharva. He divided the Vedas into 4. He wrote the Mahabharata, right? And in his maturity, he was not feeling satisfaction. Even after having written so many wonderful scriptures about the Lord, glorifying the Lord, he was not feeling satisfied. Then what did he do at his level? He's the literal incarnation of the Lord. He actually approached his spiritual master, Narada Muni. Actually, Narada Muni came, right? Whenever a devotee wants, is confused, is in a dvivida, what to do, what not to do. That time, Narada Muni always guides a devotee who's very sincere. So, in this way, Narada Muni comes to Veda Vyasadeva and asks him what is the reason for his unhappiness. And then Vyasadeva himself is able to realize in his heart that I have not adequately glorified the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then he writes, in his mature stage, he writes the Srimad Bhagavatam. And this Srimad Bhagavatam contains the essence of all the Vedas. And hence it is called Veda Anta Sutra. Right? Okay. That's what Prabhupada instituted every day, that we are supposed to study this Vedanta Sutra, Srimad Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Okay. Rishabhanu Kanya Mataji, go ahead. The student's perfection.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat.
And our student's perfection is to understand the identity of the holy name and the Supreme Lord. Unless one is under the shelter of a realized spiritual master, his understanding of the Supreme is simply foolishness. However, one can fully understand the transcendental Lord by service and devotion. When Lord Chaitanya offenselessly chanted the Hare Krishna mantra, he declared that the mantra could at once deliver a conditioned soul from material contamination. In this age of Kali, there is no alternative to chanting this Mahamantra. It is stated that the essence of all Vedic literature is the chanting of the holy names of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Lord Chaitanya also told Prakasananda Saraswati, in order to convince me about this essential fact of Vedic knowledge, my spiritual master has taught me a verse from the Brahma
Brihad Narade Puran.
Bruhad Narayana Puran, 38.126. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Kevalam, Kalau Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Gatir Anyatha. In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. In 3 out of the 4 millenniums, namely Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar and Dwapar Yuga, people had the honor to service to understand transcendence through the path of disciplic succession. But in the present age, due to the influence of Kali, people have no interest in the disciplic succession. Instead, they have invented many paths of logic and argument. These individuals attempt to understand the supreme transcendence called the ascending process is not the Vedic way. The absolute truth must descend from the absolute platform. He is not to be understood by the ascending process. The holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is a transcendental vibration because it comes from the transcendental platform. The supreme abode of Krishna, and because there is no difference between Krishna and his name, the holy name of Krishna is so as pure, perfect, and liberated as Krishna himself. Academic scholars relying on logic and argument have no entrance into the understanding of the transcendental nature of the holy name of God. The single path for understanding the transcendental nature of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, is the chanting of these names with faith and adherence. Adherence.
Adherence means to follow.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Such chanting will release one from designated condition arising from the gross and subtle bodies.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
So here, Dandavats Mataji. So here, actually, a very, very important point is mentioned here. How every yuga, there is a yuga dharma by which we can understand and we can approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what is yuga dharma? Yuga dharma means a process, right? Dharma means what is the essential characteristic of what needs to be done at a particular time, right? For example, sugar's dharma is sweetness. Liquid water's dharma is the liquidity, right? We cannot take that dharma from that particular object because that object will lose its identity without the dharma. So similarly, for an individual, for a jiva, what is the dharma? Dharma, what is that? Jivera Swarupe Krishnera Nityadas. To be the servant of the Lord and his servants. To be the servant of the Lord and greater than to be the servant of the Lord is to be the servant of the Lord's devotees, isn't it? So that is our constitutional position. But when we don't understand our constitutional position and we act very whimsically, then we try to exploit the material nature and we become entangled in the complexities of material nature. That's what Prabhupada says, right? And here, specific quotes are also given, right? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not talking in the air also, right? Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, yet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he is talking to Prakashananda Saraswati, he is actually quoting from the Shastras. So Guru, Shastra and Sadhu, they all go hand in hand, right? Iti Shodashakam Namnam Kali Kalmashanashanam. The 16 words of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashakam Nam. This is Nama Mantra, right? Generally, when we chant a mantra, if the pronunciation is wrong, then opposite effects may come, right? There was this Vritrasura's pastimes. We see how Vritrasura, the person, Indra had actually performed the yajna to ensure that there will be a person who will kill Indra, right? That was the yajna was performed to get a demon who will kill Indra, but due to that, Swastha, I think his name was. He is performing the yajna, because of the pronunciation mistake, Vritrasura appeared, who was killed by Indra. Right? Of course, it's a different thing. That Vritrasura was a great devotee of the Lord. And but I'm just the point that I'm trying to make here is, if we don't properly chant a mantra, then it can have opposite effect. But Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not an ordinary mantra. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Nama Mantra. It's Prema Mantra. Right? Even if some parts of the world they cannot practice R, right? They say Hare Krishna, right? They cannot pronounce R. Does not matter, right? Because as long as we are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with the proper mood, that oh Krishna, oh Srimati Radharani, please engage me in your devotional service. As long as we have that consciousness, right? However our pronunciation may be, of course, we do try to pronounce the Hare Krishna Mahamantra properly, right? But if due to our conditioning, due to our particular birth in a particular place, or due to our education, whatever may be, if you are not able to pronounce the Mahamantra properly, right? It's especially for those maybe in the abroad, or some countries where they cannot pronounce properly, China, etc., Japan, whatever, Russia, right? Even in such cases, we should understand that the holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different, right? For example, when we where it is said that when a child is in difficulty, what does the child call? The child calls Amma, like that, to the mother, or the child may call mother, or the child may call mummy. It does not matter. The mother rushes to protect her child. It does not think why she is calling me mother, why she is calling me mummy, why she is not calling me Amma, right? Well, a mother think that when there is a need, the mother, whenever called by the child, rushes to the child to protect the child, to see what is wrong with the child, isn't it? Right? However old the child may be. Right? It is not that the daughter has grown up to become in the 12th standard. The mother is not interested and does not go when the daughter calls. Right? No, the mother is always keen to protect the daughter and or the son or whatever, whoever are the dependents. Right? My point is, it is not what we call the Lord, but it is with what bhava, with what emotions we are calling the Lord. When we call the Lord with complete helplessness and surrender, right? When Gajendra did those prayers, even from the body of an elephant, right? That the prayers attracted the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord immediately came sitting on Garuda to actually relieve Gajendra from that crocodile, isn't it? So it depends on our mood of chanting Hare Krishna, how much we want to be engaged in the service of the Lord, and how much of that mood and dependence and humility and helplessness are we calling the Lord. That is more important than actually actually just mechanically chanting the holy names of the Lord. But at least, of course, in the sadhana stage, we have to ensure that we pronounce every word also properly, because that also helps in developing the right bhava for chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And of course, the prayerful mood is also there. Prayerful mood, prayer, what is that? Pronunciation, and also proper posture. Right? We are not Raganuga Bhaktas, right? We are still Sadhaka Bhaktas. So we understand from our acharyas what facilitates proper bhava, what helps in acquiring the right bhava to attain Krishna prema, and we follow their instructions, right? That's what we do, right? We don't do anything whimsically. We do as per what is given by our guru, our sadhu, and our shastras. That is what is important. All right. So we have two hands up. Deval Mataji can read the next two paragraphs. Madhvi Mataji can read the last two paragraphs. All right. Go ahead, Mataji. Deval Mataji. In this age of logical
Hare
argument, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mother. Hare Krishna, Dhamarpana.
In the age of logical argument and disagreement, the chanting of Hare Krishna is the only means for self-realization. And because this transcendental vibration alone can deliver the conditioned soul, it is the essence of the Vedanta Sutra. According to the material conception, there is a difference between a person himself and his name, form, qualities, emotions, and activities. But as far as this transcendental vibration is concerned, there is no such limitation, for it descends from the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, unlike the material world, there is no difference between a person and his name and qualities. Because the Mayavadi philosophers cannot understand this, they cannot utter the transcendental vibration. Lord Chaitanya then told Prakashananda Saraswati that because he received the order from his spiritual master, he was constantly chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As a result of this chanting, the Lord said, I sometimes become very impatient and cannot restrain myself from dancing and laughing or crying and singing. Indeed, I become just like a madman. When I first wondered whether I had become mad by chanting this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I approached my spiritual master and informed him that I had gone mad by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thus I asked him what was my actual position. In the Narad Pancharatra, it is stated, Esho Veda Sadagnani Chandansi Vividha Suraha Sarvam Ashta Ksharantastham Yachanyadapi Vanmayam Sarva Vedanta Sarartha Samsararnavatarana. All Vedic rituals, mantras, and understanding are compressed into the 8 words Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Similarly, in Kali Santana Upanishad, that is stated.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes,
We'll ask
Hare
Madhvi
Krishna. Thank
Mataji
you,
to
Mataji. That was pranam. Yes, sure. Hare
Hare
Krishna. That was
Krishna.
pranam, Mataji. Thank
Hare
you.
Bol, Hare Krishna. Okay, Madhvi Mataji, go ahead and complete this chapter for us. Hare Bol, yes. Similarly,
in the Kali Santar, Mataji, आगे है.
yeah, similarly in the Kali Santana Upanishad, it is stated,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Can you please read this shloka?
षोडशकं नाम कलिकल्मषनाशनं नातः परतरोपायः सर्ववेदेषु दृश्यते.
Thank you, Mataji. The 16 word Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare are especially meant for contracting the contaminations of Kali to save oneself from the contamination of Kali. There is no alternative to the chanting of these 16 words. Lord Chaitanya informed Prakashananda Saraswati that when his spiritual master understood him, he said, it is the transcendental nature of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, to transport a man into spiritual madness. Anyone who sincerely chants this holy name is quickly elevated to the platform of love of Godhead and become mad after God. This madness arising from love of God is the highest perfectional stage for a human being. Generally, a human being is interested in religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation, but the love of God is above all these. A bona fide spiritual master chants the holy name Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and the transcendental sound vibration enters the ears of the disciple. And if the disciple follows in these footsteps of his spiritual master and chants the holy name with similar respect, this chanting constitutes worship of the transcendental name. When the transcendental name is worshipped by the devotee, the name himself spreads his glories within the heart of the devotee. When the devotee is perfectly qualified in chanting the transcendental vibration of the holy name, he is quite fit to become a spiritual master and to deliver all the people of the world. Chanting of the holy name is so powerful that it gradually establishes its supremacy above everything in the world. The devotee who chants it becomes transcendently situated in ecstasy and sometimes laugh, cries, and dance in his ecstasy. Sometimes the unintelligent but hindrance in the path of the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but one who is situated on the path of the love of Godhead continues to chant the holy name loudly for the benefit of all concerned. As a result, everyone becomes initiated into the chanting of the holy names Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By chanting and hearing the holy names of Krishna, a person can remember the forms and qualities of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, so how do we understand the Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela of the Lord? Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So how can we understand the Rupa, Guna, Leela? How do we understand the form of the Lord, the qualities of the Lord, and the pastimes of the Lord? Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, because Chanama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purnashuddho Nityamukto Abhinnatva Nama Namino. There is no difference between the Lord and His holy names. So simply by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will be able to understand the form of the Lord, the glories of the Lord, the pastimes of the Lord. All of this will be to understand simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kaliyuga Vidita Pavana Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. So with this, we come to the end of the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Quickly, we'll do 2-3 minutes of Harinam Sankirtan. Devotees can switch on your cameras. 1010. Who's that? You can maybe change your name or also give us your darshan. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyarishadarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nitya Nanda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Gaura Nitai Jai Jai Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadrama Jaya Sudarshana Jaya Balagopal Jaya Radha Madhav Jai Shri Radha Rasa Bihari Jaya Radha Jam Sundar Radha Giridhari Radha Madan Mohan Radha Govinda Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Jaya Shad Goswami Jaya Guru Parampara Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Guru Deva Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol जय नाम संकीर्तन की जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद श्रील गुरुदेव की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल ऑलराइट आई कैन सी शोभा माताजी हरजीत माताजी कर्पूरवल्ली माताजी विजयलक्ष्मी प्रिया माताजी मौसमी माताजी माधवी माताजी नव किशोरी माताजी सिंधु माताजी अनुषा माताजी वृषभानु कन्या माताजी Rajneesh Prabhu Mala Mataji, thank you very much for joining in for our teachings of Lord Chaitanya study sessions. Very interesting, very important lessons given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly for us, right? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not only instructed but he also taught by his own example. Very fortunate to learn and hear from the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, from the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Sanatana Goswami to various acharyas. Directly we're able to study that from this book, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, and how we can apply those teachings in our life. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for your association every day that we're able to study these wonderful books of Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So I know Rajanish Prabhu and Karpagavalli Mataji and Madhvi Mataji have joined the Bhakti Shastri program. Generally, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Srila Guru Maharaj is very much his desire is that all of us should complete our all degrees, whether it is Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta, Bhakti Sarvabhauma, all of those degrees, right? So devotees, who have not yet done their Bhakti Shastri or who have some modules left, right? And due to some circumstance, not able to complete, we have 1 or 2 modules left like that. So we have the opportunity to do it completely online. Right, our instructor would be His Grace Madan Sundar Prabhu. He's part of the ISKCON Pune, right, under the leadership of His Grace Radhesham Prabhu. So this would be completely online. And those of you who are interested in joining Bhakti Vaibhav, the details will be also posted soon. But the criteria to join Bhakti Vaibhav is to have completed Bhakti Shastri. So the first step would be to join Bhakti Shastri course, complete it, and then do Bhakti Vaibhav, and then we progress after that. Right. So in this, whoever is interested, the basic criteria is we should be following regulative principles at least. Regulative principles means no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, not even having tea, coffee, not having onion, garlic for at least for a period of 1 year. And we've been chanting at least 16 rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra at least for a year. Right? These are the two basic requirements for this. And even if somebody is chanting 8 rounds, 12 rounds, but is serious and is interested in coming to the level of 16 rounds, can also give your names. You can start, of course, on a case-to-case basis, seeing your sincerity, we can get you into the start of the study. Of course, then the exams and all will happen after you complete your 1 year of chanting 16 rounds. But you can still be part of the classes. You can understand, because the more we understand spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge from the coming down from the Guru Parampara, we get more determined and we become more enthusiastic, and we're able to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra also. Right? So in that way, whoever is interested in progressing to the 16 rounds level, although currently maybe chanting 8 rounds, 12 rounds, etc. Also, you may write to me on a case-to-case basis. We will see how we can help. But we want all the devotees to complete Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Sarvabhauma, and all of these courses for the pleasure of Guru Maharaj, for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, for the pleasure of Guru and Gauranga. Prabhupada also very much instituted this. This entire thing was instituted by Prabhupada only. The 4 books, Prabhupada only set up this process for us. So whoever is interested, please do write to me on my personal WhatsApp, and then we'll take it forward. I will give you the link to a WhatsApp group. You need to simply update your details and then give my email address. And then once you have a discussion with me, then I will decide whether I want to recommend you right now or we want to wait for some more time. Right? So please go ahead and join that WhatsApp group, and then we'll take it forward from there. All right. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Madhvi Mataji, you want to say something? You need to unmute yourself, Mataji.
The host is not allowing to participate. Oh,
no, I'm able to hear you. Yeah. What is it?
Mataji, one question was there that our classes, that Bhakti Shastra classes are going to be like every day or like in the end of the day?
So I will answer that later. See, because these are only going to be recorded classes, wherein we will the recording will be played, and you will have to do self study on your own at your own pace. So it's not about, there is no attendance requirement. There is only the requirement is to the desire to complete the Bhakti Shastri course, right? Because we'll clearly give a schedule for you to study. If you have any doubts, there will be weekly sessions with His Grace Madan Sundar Prabhu, wherein Prabhu will answer all queries relating to the subject. And then you will once you are ready to take up the exams, and you do have your shloka test, and you have your closed book exam, then you have your open book exam. So once all of the 3 are done, then you have one module that is complete. So like that, we have Ishopanishad, we have Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and Bhagavad Gita. These are the 4 books, right? So once you enroll and then you are there in the system, then we will discuss the details of what are the exams, who can take up the exams, how long is the duration, all of that. So first step is to join the WhatsApp group and enroll yourself if you're interested in doing the course. Check the eligibility. If you're meeting the criteria, please join the WhatsApp group and register yourself in Evolve Pune and give the email address as my ID. Right? Then once I discuss with you all, then either they will take up the next steps as to whether we want to progress right now or we want to wait for some more time. Right? That's something we can take a call. All right? Yes, Karbhavali Mataji, anything?
Mataji, email address, I put my address, Mataji, my email ID. Sorry, Mataji. I'll register again. Another thing, the billing details we are asked, Mataji, that's what we have to do, the bank details.
So you need to pay 2,000 to that account. And then once you make the payment, then automatically you will get access to the 4 books. Right? Once then I will also send my recommendation because I know you are chanting for more than a year. So immediately I will send my recommendation for you. And then in this way, the orientation is happening by almost the end of the month. And then you will take it forward from there. Every week there will be a study lesson given. You have to study that and then give the shloka test, give the OBA, CBA, and then we'll progress. Within I think it's about one year.
They'll send the book or the online books, Mataji?
Online.
Okay.
Veda base. Yeah, all the 4 books are there on the Veda base. Yeah.
Okay, Mataji.
All right. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Dandapunam.
Hare Pranam to all. Hare Bol. There is also this Mayapur Bhakti Shastri manual that is there. That will also be shared.